Dark Matter episode 8 titled Jupiter is the craziest episode this season, and instead of being called Jupiter, it should really be called episode 8, the multiverse of madness, because so many crazy things happen this episode. But let's start off at the beginning. Hey guys, I'm Shalana. Welcome to the Binge Zone. Now in today's episode, we're breaking down the Apple TV Plus show Dark Matter, and we're looking at episode 8. The episode begins and Jason 2 is attacked by Jason. And we knew this was going to happen because last week's episode, Jason and Jason 2 went to the weapon store to buy weapons. So when the episode starts off and Jason attacks Jason 2, Jason 2 kills him. And in that moment, my jaw dropped. After following Jason for 7 episodes, Jason 2 kills him. But yet the episode goes on and now the mystery starts to really unravel because Daniela goes over to Ryan's house and she discovers that this Ryan doesn't recognize her, and she's starting to pick up some pieces that Jason is really doing some shady stuff because this is not her Ryan. This Ryan does not recognize her. But how do you even come up with that concept? She would never in a million years assume that that Ryan is a Ryan from another universe. It's just the fact that he's being weird and she thinks he's on a bender, and it's Jason that made him relapse into this because Ryan says Jason is the one that fed him the alcohol to get him to where he is now. Daniela assumes in this drunk state. However, we know that he means he got him drunk and dragged him into this universe to replace the Ryan that he dumped off in another universe. So right now, Jason 2 really is the master of the universe, jumping in and out, doing whatever he wants through the space-time continuum. After this happens, we find ourselves with Jason again. But this time, Jason is checking out of a room, and as he's walking down the hallway, another Jason checks out of the room, and now we're up to 3 Jasons in one episode. So the Jason that Jason 2 killed was not the original Jason that we were following for all these episodes. It's now we see that Jason, and now we see another Jason who's after him. Jason 1 ends up escaping while the other Jason is following him, and he ends up at the bar. But then there's another Jason there. We're up to 4 Jasons at this point. There are 4 variants of Jason running around this universe. One of them is dead. Jason 2 killed one of them. So now the 2 Jasons have a conversation, and we come to find out that this is Jason 1, and I'm going to call this other Jason Jason 1.5 because at one point they were both the same Jason. But because of the multiversal theory and how it works and how Dark Matter chooses to expand on it, every choice that you make creates a different variation of your universe, creates a different variant of you. So while Jason was in the cube trying to find his way here, every choice he made or didn't made created an alternate Jason. So the fact that the multiverse itself is infinite and always growing a new part, it isn't just limited to what has been created already. More Jasons can be created, more universes can be created as different choices are made. We saw that earlier in the season when Jason and Amanda tried to go back to Jason 2's universe and they saw a variation of them get killed. So every choice has an action. So Jason 1.5 and Jason 1 are talking. They're both after Jason 2 because for what they both know, at a certain point in time, they both were the original Jason, but because of choices made in the cube, they started splintering off. And Jason 1.5 says something very interesting. If that has happened, we are not the only Jasons. There exist more Jasons running around this universe because in the infinite possibilities of the multiverse, every Jason that doesn't find a Daniela, doesn't find their homeworld, there exists a Jason that does. And that's why there are multiple Jasons now. Because in an infinite amount of Jasons, there's going to be a few of them who actually make it back to the original Daniela. And that creates a whole new paradigm shift because infinite is a lot. There is no quantifiable measure to know how many Jasons have made it back to Daniela. And all of them being the original Jason starts a conundrum. Because there is only one Daniela in the universe, only one of them can have her. And Jason 1.5 tells Jason clearly, after I'm done with Jason 2, I want my wife and kid, who's also Jason 1's wife and kid. And that just exists for all the other Jasons. And at this point, this is their main Daniela, and they're willing to kill any variation of themselves now that they found their original Daniela, they found the original love of their life, they found their original son. Charlie and Daniela are here, and all these Jasons are willing to kill and die for the possibility of finally having their life back. While Jason 1 is aware of this, Jason 2 thinks he's won. He thought he killed the original Jason. He's trying to dispose of the body, and when Charlie's coming in, we start to see him unraveling. We start to see the fact that he's really getting tired of this family. Even though he's won in his mind, even though that he's killed Jason 1, he's trying to get rid of the body, and Charlie just keeps bothering him about pizza, and you can see his nerves and agitation really start to add up because he almost died. And because of the way he's moving and the conversation we had with Jason 1.5 and the fact that there was another Jason chasing the original Jason 1, we start to see that all these Jasons have a violent streak in them. But our original Jason, Jason 1, he's a genius. He's smart. He may not be as aggressive or as cunning as these other Jasons. He gets himself arrested by smoking a cigar at a restaurant. And because he's arrested, they call Daniela to come get him out of jail. So he has found the smartest way to reconnect with his Daniela. And when she gets there, she's angry at him. Of course, she believes that he's Jason 2, and everything Jason 2 has been doing falls on his shoulders. But Jason 1, I said he was smart. He was able to prove to her that he's the original. By having her call his phone in that very second, it rings and Jason 2 picks it up. Jason 2's with Charlie, and that's all the proof she needs. Because of the clues with Ryan and because of the clues that she found in his storage unit, she starts to believe him, and now they come up with a plan to rescue Charlie from Jason 2, and they create a code word. The code word is the title of the episode, and that is Jupiter. The reason why this is very interesting is because Jupiter, we know, is a planet with many moons, and at this point, it's kind of symbolism where we look at Jason 1 as Jupiter and all the variants of Jason 1 are his moons. That's why the title being called Jupiter relates to the character of Jason. Jason is Jupiter, and all the variants, Jason 2, Jason 1.5, Jason 3, Jason 4, all of them are just moons of him. The different choices that he makes creates alternate versions of himself who ultimately orbit around him and Daniela, making him Jupiter. What a beautiful code word to perfectly encapsulate everything that this show is about. Jason 2 being with Charlie, he takes Charlie on a college tour, and it's during that college tour that he spots another Jason. This is Jason 1.5. This Jason is on a mission, he's on a vendetta, and now Jason 2 starts to realize, wait, but the infinite possibilities exist. Multiple Jasons exist, and now he's starting to see just how dangerous all of this is. So he finds a way to kill Jason 1.5, and he realizes now that he has to leave. These Jasons are not going to stop until they get their hands on Daniela and Charlie. But now Daniela knows who he is. When she gets home and he wants to run away, she knows she can't leave with him. She knows he's dangerous. This is the same man that did something weird to Ryan. This is the same man that her original Jason is telling her to be wary of. So when Charlie leaves the house and gets into the car, Daniela tricks Jason 2 to helping her find something in the basement. She pushes him downstairs, locks him in, and leaves. Now, normally, if this was Jason like 3 or Jason 1.5 or 2.5, I'd be like, you know what? This is dead. But this is the main antagonist. Jason 2 is not going to die this easily. This is the same man that created a way to traverse the universe to get what he wants. This is the same man that can travel the multiverse in order to find any life that he wants. And getting pushed down a flight of stairs is the least of his problems. That's not what's going to put him down. He's overcome so much more, so we know he's not dead. So when Daniela and Charlie escape, Jason pulls up on them, not Jason 2, but another Jason who pulls up on them and tells them to get in the car, let's escape. And as they're escaping, he starts to tell the story that Jason 1 already told Daniela, and she starts to realize this is not my Jason, this is another variant. And just as she starts to realize that and she's trying to get Charlie to get out of there, their car gets hit by another car, and it's another Jason. At this point, we have Jason 1, Jason 2, the Jason who died in the first 5 minutes, Jason 1.5, the Jason in the car, and the Jason that just crashed into the car. There are 6 variants of Jason living in this universe, and many more potentially because, Again, it's a vast multiversal infinite amount of Jasons that could actually be here. But after the car crash, Daniela and Charlie escape and they make their way to the bean and they find the original Jason. And once he gives the code word and we know this is our Jason, Jason 1 that we've been following for the entirety of the season, he embraces Charlie. He hasn't touched his son in over a month. This Jason has been traveling through the multiverse trying to get back to this one moment. He finally has his family, but he's not safe yet. Even if Jason 2 has been dealt with temporarily, there exists an infinite number of possible Jasons that could be here after his wife and kids, leaving him with the possibility of, what am I going to do? How am I going to escape? How am I going to survive with my family when there's an infinite amount of me who think like me, who are as smart as me, who can travel the universe, and they're after my wife and they've let me know. Jason 1.5 has let him know that he's willing to kill for this, so every other Jason is willing to kill for this. Even our main Jason, Jason 1, is willing to kill for the chance at having Daniela and Charlie in his life again. So now that he's made it back to this universe, he now has to defend his universe against an army and infinite possible Jasons coming at his throat, and they all believe that they're the original Jason. That's what makes it weird, that's what makes it wild, and that's what makes it the multiverse of madness. All of them are right. However, there can only be one Jason, and who is the Jason that deserves it? We all can say Jason 1, but I want to ask a question. After the last episode, after episode 7, when we last followed Jason 1 closely, how are we sure that this Jason is actually Jason 1 that we've been following? Or is this not another variant of Jason? Because we just don't know at this point. This could be Jason 2.5, 3.0. That's another can of worms that could be open in the season finale of this show. But guys, that's it for my breakdown of Dark Matter episode 7. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it in the comment section below. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and until next time, binge on.